Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how we were able to reach 100k DFA crit on a player. Now, the original intention of this video was simply to log on PTR and find a way if we can find something game-breaking, something where we can just absolutely obliterate somebody in damage. And while we have like 200k health pools, 100k off your health bar is only half your health. To be honest, there's a lot of classes that can pull far more damage in just a faster time, so this isn't the biggest hit. But finally, Subtlety can hit for something huge, although the way you do this is very RNG heavy. The purpose of this video was simply to just go and see if we can get Subtlety to do some broken damage, some big hits. That's all we wanted to do. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys my findings, the build that I ran, and how I was able to execute it, just so maybe, if you remember the good old damage of Subtlety rogues from previous expansions, maybe you too can bring back some big bursty DPS on other players in PvP. Now, I will say this, we didn't come in with this video and with this mindset of like a very serious 100% usable in PvP, usable everywhere. This was simply for the purpose of trying to see just how much damage we can do in one single ability. We're going to be focusing on trying to do as much damage with a single eviscerate, which we'll be buffing through DFA. Of course, an actual optimal output for Subtlety for PvP is going to involve using shadow strikes and CCing and rotating with your shadow dances and shadow blades involved, but we're not really going for like a realistic playstyle. We're just trying to see if we can put all our eggs in one basket and then beat with that basket over our enemies' heads using the ability of eviscerate. So this is going to be RNG based in terms of you need a few procs to happen at the same time for you to get this kind of big damage. You're not going to get this consistently. All we did this is for fun. Now that I said all that, let's get into how we did it, what we use, and how you guys might be able to use it in the next coming week. First of all, on PTR, we are utilizing the new 415 item level gear. On PTR, you have a lot of vendors where you can buy any kind of gear you want, any traits, any Azeroth, any weapon, any enchant, and you can custom build your character perfectly. So you're not going to be able to do this on live servers in most cases, unless you're really, really lucky, or you have, let's say, some kind of a group that's just going to throw you all the best gear that you need in a raid or a dungeon. So we are able to get perfect stats, which we'll be getting from PTR, utilizing 415 item level gear. That means trinkets are stronger than live servers, gear is stronger than live servers, traits are stronger than live, weapons, everything is a little bit beefy. Past that, that's all we're using is just the brand new gear, so your damage right now on live is going to be different because good chance you're not going to be able to hit a player in the same way. Now, the player part is especially important. If you want to hit a train dummy for over 100k Subtlety, be my guest. You're more than welcome to easily do this right now on live. The difference is player damage that you do as a Subtlety rogue to other players is going to be far different than when you're hitting a train dummy. When you're hitting a train dummy, Blizzard has you on cap. You can hit as hard as you want with as big as crits as possible. Whatever gear you got going on, you can hit them as hard as you wish. But when it comes to PvP, Blizzard does scale Subtlety rogues against other players differently. Subtlety is very heavy on mobility and CC, so its damage output and burst is going to be much, much lower than it is on a dungeon boss or a raid boss. So the fact that we were able to hit for like 100k on the new servers is actually super exciting because finally Subtlety feels like it can really obliterate somebody almost whenever you want to, you know, as long as procs line up. Let's talk a little bit about the talents, the gear, and everything we use in order to make this happen. Really quickly for talents, these are the talents. Fight Weakness is going to help you get through a portion of enemy's armor. Night Stalker is going to be there for flat damage increase. Prey on the Wick for a damage increase since you're CC heavy as a spec anyway. Dark Shadow in order, again, to increase damage. And for the auto talents, we're going to be running DFA to increase the damage of our eviscerate when we're coming down through DFA. So that's the talents that are necessary in order to make this burst damage happen. For gear, we're first going to talk a bit about specific Azeroth traits. We're going to go for Knight's Vengeance. This trait actually does get nerfed when it's used against a player, so you're not going to get nearly as much value, but for every common point that you spend into a Nightblade, it increases the damage of your eviscerate. This trait actually is very misleading. It will increase your eviscerate by a flat amount no matter how many common points you spend into it, and again, as we said, against a player, this number is going to be far, far lower. but we're going to use our gear to triple stack it anyway, as it is the only trait that increases our eviscerate damage directly. Outside of that, we're going to go for some easy trades that help us increase damage, like trade wins increasing our mastery by a whole 1,000 points, which is huge since your mastery benefits finisher damage, so works for eviscerate. Outside of that, if you can get middle ground bonuses for extra mastery, extra agility, it doesn't really matter which ones you grab. When it comes to taking a look at the best possible gear, this is the best potential lineup I could get. But of course, this is because we have vendors with specific pieces, so chances are in live servers you guys might not be that lucky unless you've been saving up a bunch of Azeroth pieces of gear. Outside of that, for our gear, we're gonna go full mastery versatility and kind of hoping that if we crit, we crit. If we don't crit, that's fine. We're simply just gonna take a bunch of takes, and it didn't even take that many for us to finally land a big crit on an enemy. When it comes to trinkets, I decided we're gonna go for Azeroth's Heart, which is a dungeon trinket, gives us a fair amount of mastery, which increases our damage output, and has a nice agility proc with it, agility being probably the best stat to increase our damage. The second trinket is going to be Gladiator's On-Use Fatty Agility Trinket, which is going to increase our agility by 2,000 plus whenever we use it for 15 seconds. That combined together with Azeroth's Heart, mastery procs, maybe enchants from our weapons, which are going to be crit, as well as mastery, which we should have probably done versatility and mastery instead of crit and mastery, but I thought at the time, maybe if I crit, maybe it'll be good, because having low crit is just not going to be fun. And finally, what we're going to do is take a few attempts, park whoever is going to be our victim next to some training dummies, and then kind of hope for the best, take a bunch of takes, and hope for some fatty crits. These are the results that we were able to get, just to show you guys a little bit of what we were able to accomplish, going from the smallest crit to, of course, the biggest crit. Now is the question, how do you get this executed? A lot of this comes with preparation and depending on what gear you are running. One of the trinkets I'm running is an Azeroth trinket. It'll provide me a lot of agility. What I'm going to do is line up and burst around Azeroth's trinket, as well as other procs. When Azeroth trinket procs for me and I get all that agility, now I'm trying to fish for as many buffs as possible. I got my mastery enchants from my weapon, critical strike enchants from my weapon, as well as mastery procs from my traits. I'm looking for those as best as possible. As soon as I have all of my procs up and running, I'm just gonna go out and burst the enemy. Until then, I'm just gonna fish for them and be patient. When my Azeroth, or whatever proc trinket you guys decide to run, has 5 seconds left on its buff, this is where you want to start bursting, whether you have other procs or not. Rotation itself is very simple. You want to establish a Nightblade on an enemy. I suggest turning on Shadow Blades to make sure you have plenty of combo points to spend when you're bursting. I would generally backstab an enemy, or you can Shuriken Storm if you're in a group fight situation, and stick a Nightblade on the kill target. Then, you pop Shadow Dance, you pop Symbols of Death, you pop Cheap Shot, you use your on-use Trinket, you use DFA, and then you pray for the best. Once you're up in the air, you're still gonna slam down on an enemy with a fair amount of damage, but if you crit, this is where the giddy part comes in. You'll be so excited you got a fatty crit from a big old DFA as a Subtlety rogue, and it's probably one of the coolest feelings ever. Now, the trades that we ran, the trinkets that we ran are not perfect, but they are pretty good in the situation that we were in. One thing I should mention, majority of PvE trinkets don't work nearly as well within battlegrounds or arenas. So if you're trying to replicate this in BGs and arenas, chances are if you're using a PvE trinket, there's a good chance that that trinket is nerfed. So you will have to check in arenas. Every trinket is a case-by-case basis. So if you're using a on-use agility trinket, and if you're using a proc agility trinket, you should be fine for the most part within PvP confines. Outside of that, it's a pretty big burst. It's a lot of damage to put out, and it was a lot of fun to make. Honestly, I had a lot of fun messing with it. We even messed around with it on live stream. I was trying to do something similar for Assassination rogues as well, and I think I'll be putting out a video in the near future on all the different bursts that are available for all different specs and classes, kind of like a best of burst video or something along those lines. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see a big old burst video from every different class and every different spec in the game. If you guys would want to see something like that, I would love to bring it for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the burst for Subtlety and what your thoughts are on this video, and if this is something you might want to try to replicate once Season 2 for PvP comes out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see all of you in another one.